liners or third pair D,
Yeah.
but we got to decide which ones suit our team the best.
Tom, you mentioned fourth liners and third pair of D'ing, and then over the course of the year, at least at our age, and I'm sure at yours, you've had kids that you started out as third, fourth liners that ended up improving amazingly. And that's because you gave them an opportunity to play. Can you talk about some specific examples of kids that, you didn't know about, you weren't sure on, but in the end, they surprised you?
Well, what happens is at the start, of course, you got players that aren't at the level of the top players on the team, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I mean fourth liners right now. That's kind of the role they start. But if they practice and they catch on and all this kind of stuff, and this age group that I'm coaching, they shouldn't be together. Like, I don't know what happened. They got rid of juvenile hockey years ago. I think it's because all the provinces went to an 18-year-old drinking age.
Yeah.
So half the team in juvenile could drink and the other half couldn't. So what they did is they got rid of juvenile and they added a year to junior and they added a year to midget.
Yeah.
Now, these poor girls trying out for U18, there's 3 years. There's girls, basically the grade 10s, 10th graders trying out against 12th graders.
Yeah.
And it should be U20, U18, U16, because U15, I taught junior high 22 years. I got a pretty good idea. And Alberta's one of the only places that junior high, that grade 7, 8, 9. Most places, grade 9 is in high school. And that's because that's where they belong.
Yeah.
Grade 9s are young women, basically, the average, there's always each way. And grade 8s are still girls.
Yeah.
And maturity wise and physically and mentally, they're different animals.
Yeah.
So you start off, and that's why last year in the provincials, a bunch of it's really hard for a first year, like a grade 8, to make the team because they're way smaller. So I know one of our girls last year, she grew 4 inches during the season, and she was our most effective player in the provincials. And she started off, well, she was just so small, she wasn't that effective. And so you just bring them on, and hopefully, if they want to be players, you run practices that'll help them. And the ones that want to get better do get better.
Oh, I think at that level, I haven't seen anybody that didn't want to get better. Every time I go and watch a practice, the girls are so dialed in at the U13 level, and the more you go one on one and compete at practices, they love it. And they talk about so-called elite hockey, and I think it starts with just loving to be there and wanting to be there. And every practice that I've watched, and it's a lot to do with the coaches. The practices are high tempo, they keep going, and each coaching staff interrupts the drill to make key teaching points. And I wonder if you could give an example. Maybe you can think of something last night where you ran a drill and you maybe stopped in the middle and pointed out a detail. Because to me, that's the art of coaching. It's not just doing the drill and getting mad because they couldn't even do the drill.
Well, no, you got to be out there coaching hockey, not coaching drills. So a few times I stopped them to tell what the point. Well, what we play in a 1-on-5 league, that. So we're playing Kyle's team on Saturday, who has 3 really good 1-on-5 players, and so we're doing a drill where the defense has no sticks. They leave from the middle, and the forward's got a puck, touches the blue line. The defense has no puck, touches the blue line. They go together, D closes a gap and it goes 1-on-1. And as soon as they cross the blue line, the other side does it. But the D has no stick. So first of all, I taught them the drill. So they're doing it. Then after everybody had had a few reps, then I called all the D down and I went over what the key points are. Like some of them are hardly even coming back from the blue line. They're giving them this huge gap.
Yeah.
Now they're at the mercy of the forward. And I told them that by the blue line, if they had a stick, they'd be able to touch the puck with the stick. They can't be waiting top of the circles for it.
Yeah.
And then so your job is not to get the puck, your job is just to block them from getting to the net. Stay in their way. And then if I said once they shoot, you have to stay with them and box them out. And if you had a stick, you take your stick. And I said, and if they beat you wide, and I showed them if they beat you wide, if you follow wide, you got to turn around a 3/4 turn to chase them. They're going to beat you. So if they beat you wide, you take a 1/4 turn and you head to the near post because that's where they're going.
Yeah.
And you take a shortcut. So those are points I made, and then they went back to doing the drill and then, just talk to them when they come to the bench.
Tom, Team Red U13, Will and Jamie, they did the same drill you did, but players went from each side. They weren't D or forwards, they were whatever. And just get me right here if this is right. The one player, you throw it to one side, the player has to take it to the blue line, the other player has to touch the other blue line, and then go at them. And it ended up being a forechecking drill for the forwards, a surfing drill for the D, and at a few times it became a play the rush drill with gap control. And
I've done that too, that everybody does it.
Yeah.
But I want to coach the D some because we're playing 3 games on the weekend and I've got 8D and I've got to cut 2D. So I want to make sure they know how to play 1-on-1 properly because if they don't, they won't make the team.
Yeah.
So, now they've been coached on it. How much do they put it in practice?
Yeah. Hi, Hal. How are you this morning?